got? That's all you got? That's all you got?
Middle Georgia. Welcome to our Saturday morning power, praise, and prayer lineup. The Greater Elizabethboro Missionary Baptist Church of Macon, where Reverend Derek Dumas is the lead servant, every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 980 a.m. WDDO, The Glory. WDDO proudly welcomes to our Saturday morning broadcast Apostle Rosa Jackson Palmer. Apostle Rosa Jackson Palmer and the Kingdom Harvest Apostolic Ministries, Inc. The first Saturday in December at 12 noon. And be blessed by this ministry. Apostle Rosa Jackson Palmer and the Kingdom Harvest Apostolic Ministries. The first Saturday in December on 980 a.m. WDDO. Giving God the honor and the glory. Motley's Community Store, 901 Main Street in Macon, in one of Macon's oldest neighborhoods, Fort Hill on the east side, the birthplace of Macon, Georgia. Serves up ribs so tender you don't need teeth. Pulled pork and pulled beef sandwiches, whiting fish, pangasius, mullet, trout with special Motley sauce. Home of the $5.99 breakfast and the $6.99 salmon breakfast. They're open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. The address is 901 Main Street in Macon. That's 901 Main Street in Macon, or give them a call today at 478-256-1960. The green building at the top of the hill. God loves you. Connecting the community through gospel. The new 980 AM WDDO, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, better ask Elaine.
Well, it's 3:00, and you know what time it is. It's time for Ask Elaine. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're just so happy to have you. We're awaiting our special guest who should be coming in anytime. Young lady that you met last week, and we weren't finished talking. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you're on live, that's great. If you're on the radio listening, that's great. If you're on Facebook Live, that's great too. We're just glad to have you whichever way you tune in with us. And we want you to share. We'd like for you to leave messages for us. And if you don't mind, please share. As we've said, please share so that others will know that we're on. And also, we want your comments. We also would like for you to call us. Call us at 478-250-1444. Call me and tell me how you're feeling and how you're using your stimulus. I know you got your stimulus because David and I got ours. And so we would like for you to call us and let us know what use you're making of your stimulus. And I know that's your business, but we'd like to hear if there are different things that people are planning to do. Maybe that's gonna be your savings, the start of your savings. Maybe that's gonna be support for someone who's in school. You might give something to charity. You might give a little bit extra to the church. These ministers, now they're gonna kill me about this, but ministers say you're supposed to do 10%, and then it says 10% above what you are supposed to give. So if I got that wrong, I know ministers will call and correct me, just like they do on when I try to quote the Bible. They straighten me out. And so feel free, because I never said I was a Bible scholar. I just when I hear it, I know what makes me feel good. I know what the right direction is. I know what's good when I hear it. But anyway, call us. We're going to talk about voting. We're going to talk about what's going on in Atlanta. I know y'all saw on TV one of our sisters being arrested. She went up to Brian Kemp's door. He was in there having a secret meeting. Monica, you've joined us. You saw that?
Yes,
It's Monica Hodges. She's joined us. And I wanted to have her back on because she is one of our up and coming young leaders. She has shown that she is committed and concerned about the community, and she's already involved in a lot of things. So we're just really, really happy.
Thank you so much for having me this week.
We're just really, really happy to have her with us today and last week and today. And she's going to share a lot of good information. I'm just thrilled because I am so worried that we're not going to have enough young people who are committed and who understand their Blackness, their heritage, their history, and appreciate it or not ashamed. Don't let people make them feel ashamed of anything. And those who will then pass it on, pass the good things on. I'm so worried that we're not going to have enough people to pass it on. But Monica is one of those that we don't have to worry about her. And there's a group of about 10 other young men and women who I've noticed are committed. And I'm going to pledge to all of them any support that I can give to you in making information available to you, in inviting you to be a part of various things that are going on in the community, to accompany me to a number of events in the community, to help to promote those organizations, NAACP, SCLC, National Action Network, all of those different organizations that are about helping our people.
We also have a nonprofit in Macon, the Lincoln Guard, and they focus to get out and mobilize and educate.
That's right.
Well. And so we definitely, like you said, we do need to build up, a group of individuals so we can, make sure we get the voice out.
Right.
And it takes a community, because this is our future.
Uh-huh.
I think when I first met you, I was in first, second grade.
Yeah.
So you have been my mentor for a long time. And I just, everybody should have someone or a goal, like, just making sure, like, what's the next step, what's, planning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just being involved, it just gives you a sense that we all have, as part of being on earth, is just giving back in some type of way.
That's right. That's right. And you got to learn how to give back. You got to have the information and everything. We want to thank our sponsors. Our sponsors are the former mayor, the Honorable C. Jack Ellis, and he was our guest last week and the week before, and it was just such a nice thing to see him back in Macon, Georgia. He's probably back in Africa.
Oh, Lord. I know. Did you go to the meeting that Friday?
No, I didn't.
I know, yeah, he's probably busy with that as well.
Yeah. And I also want to thank our Senator David E. Lucas, who's been one of our supporters and sponsors for all of these years that we've been on. We also want to thank Sheriff David Davis. We also want to express our appreciation to the Middle Georgia Informer. We spotlight them. They spotlight us in that newspaper. Cornelia Walker is there, and then EL High School Academy. And we're going to have some news about our next graduation ceremony. We've been kind of put on hold for a while because of the pandemic, and we've had a number of students to finish their high school diploma work.
Well, the pandemic definitely gave everyone time to catch up with a lot of different things.
Well, we've got them, and they're anxious to march in their ceremony. And then all of those that told them they couldn't do it, that you aren't going to do anything. I know you just, I told them, you make sure you invite them and let them sit in the front row. Front row center.
Oh, exactly.
And as you march across, that's exactly right. You have to show people. You can tell them all day long. They don't halfway believe you, but you have to show them what you will do. And until you show them, then you're just talking. All right. And all of you who are out there, let's see, Shirley Lester is with us today, and Amzie Rouse Robinson is with us. Maria Bryant is there. Cynthia Cersei. And then, okay. But call us 478-250-1444 or put your comment there in the chat, and we'll be glad to acknowledge your comment. Please share so that you can remind everybody that we are on. We want to express appreciation to Reverend Mabel Randall, who has a program on Tuesday, and she's been paying tribute during Women's History Month to women that she knows who maybe aren't in the limelight, aren't out there, aren't doing this and that, but they are still nonetheless working in the community and making a difference.
We definitely, need to acknowledge, and especially the ones, and I think this is a vessel that we can use to, make sure we, because they're our future, like I said, and educate and getting to know different, because we have a lot of, celebrities around here that we don't even know.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So that's great. So even with the different things that went on this week in the state capitol, also just on a local level, just working on, what things can we put in place to address these issues that we have pending, and also just working towards like things that we need to do, and just getting things already together. So we'll be ready and prepared, Well,
now first, let's talk about Atlanta and the legislation.
Yes.
Republicans sneaked around. And all was that was underhanded. They knew that activists, voting rights activists, were busy contacting companies, Delta, Coca-Cola, Home Depot, all of those, to get them to put pressure on them to, think twice before putting this stuff in place. And so they sneaked around and went ahead and got that stuff together and went ahead and passed it very, very quickly.
Behind closed doors. I mean, and you would think, as you were elected in a position, I know as a commissioner, you're privy to things that the mayor does. That's why your district elected you to oversee that things are, fair and favorable on their behalf as well. So, I mean, could you imagine that same scenario? You knock on the mayor's door, he's signing something, and
and somebody comes and puts me in handcuffs. And that's exactly what happened. That lady went to that door because that is her house, just like it's all of our house.
And she knocked, and and when I look at that, and I basically contrast that to January the 6th when they stormed the Capitol, beat up police, and
killed police officers.
And, I mean, just terrorized the, it was just beyond crazy.
Yeah,
and they didn't, not one person came out in handcuffs. I mean, they arrested him after the fact. And all she did was, that's it. And, so, and I think too, even when you kind of look at, some individuals like, well, it's just, they just say it's just about ID, okay, well, no, I mean, not being able to bring a person water. I mean, that's like one of the necessities to live,
How ridiculous is it? And if they would create a situation where there are enough voting places,
exactly,
because they cut out a bunch of the voting places and consolidated and put a lot of people voting at the same place, at fewer places. And so these people were in these long lines. So different community groups gave out water and snacks.
Exactly.
What is wrong with that?
Nothing at all. I mean, I'm just appalled by that,
Well, we know what this is about. This is about Republicans wanting to make sure that what happened with President Biden, where black folks really elected him,
well, it's kind of like
doesn't happen
like if we're
again.
playing a game, they set the initial rules. Like, we won the election through, through laws that they put in place.
Right.
And it's like, hey, well, these are not working in our favor. Let's change them again. And that's not,
well, as long as they were working for them, as long as they were working and they were winning the game. But then said, oh, no, you Negroes did not use what we've been using.
Part of them thinking is if they did that, because I think Trump, his statement was, I wish you could have did it sooner, whatever. But I don't know if that was just something to put in place to maybe, but it was definitely, I mean, the timing of it, Georgia turning blue, I mean, it is, but
it's about power.
That's why now, we need to vote those individuals
out. Right.
And that's right. And that's what we're working on now. And I think that thing is addressing even people that have even different voting issues that we need to address on the level. It's from training. If we're going to have poll monitors, poll watchers, we need to make sure they have trained there, so we don't have any issues, because we have a lot of that, a lot of just everybody make their rules as they kind of go up.
Right.
And that's the thing there too, especially like this last election that we had. So, and hopefully we can build a group and work on, just different issues I have, and and people can call in, like you said, send those issues so we can address those, because individuals, sometimes you feel like you're stuck, like who do I go to, and but we don't, we want to use that to definitely get our voice heard.
Do y'all know why? Sometimes, a lot of times we hear people say, well, folks over in the white neighborhoods, they get their streets clean, they get their streets fixed, they don't have substandard housing, they don't have this, that, and the other, they have nice this and nice that. Why can't we have it? Well, I'm going to just be honest with you. There are some folks that know what their rights are, and they ask. They demand to get what they pay their tax money for.
Exactly.
I am finding that there are a lot of neighborhoods where people will see a pile of trash or an old tire or a sofa or something on their street. They will be so upset about it, but they won't either pick the little something up, or they will not call the county to come and get it. They will not take that time. But some folks who have the nicest neighborhoods are folks that will call. And not just one, everybody on the street will call.
It's powers and numbers, exactly. So, and that's where those issues, we all, chime in, it's like to get attention or whatever. So in those scenarios, it's like, hey, we need to bring attention to whatever that issue is, and you rally up your different neighbors and stuff.
Right.
And get that done. So
that's right. Let's take this call.
Awesome.
Good afternoon, Ask Elaine.
Hello, how are you today?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing fine, enjoying this nice weather.
Yeah, it is nice, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, what concern or question or comment do you have today?
I just wanted to make a comment about what's going on with this voting
situation.
And I wanted you to go over some of that with me, if you got the time, and just to clear some stuff up with me,
Okay, you mean the laws that were passed, the
yes,
changes?
ma'am, yes, ma'am. Because, like I said, I've looked at the news and I've seen, bits and pieces about it, but really just don't understand fully what's going on with that.
Okay. All right. Well, we certainly will cover that. One of the things that's the worst thing that we talked about a minute ago is that there's a prohibition to groups of people handing out water and snacks to people who are in line to vote. There's another one that changes the absentee. Now, I think they left that one in. You do have to have an ID. Now, you're voting absentee, and you got to make sure you got a copy of your ID to put in. That was intentionally done because that was one of the methods that Blacks and Democratic voters used.
Especially individuals that, that are in nursing homes, or some people don't have the ability to get to the poll, maybe working, military individuals. And that's where, we just need to make sure, hey, every neighborhood, we need to have a place they can go to and get all their IDs copied,
Right. Right. Another one of the things now they had as a part of it, the drop boxes.
Yep.
And the drop boxes have to be inside of of a building.
Yeah,
exactly. Like at the Board of Elections, the drop box. Now, the purpose of the drop box is to have it conveniently outside of a building secured.
Exactly.
And then you say it's got to be inside the building.
That's how Kemp voted his last election. He used the box outside. And also with changing the hours, the voting hours, to maybe 5 o'clock, when people really just getting off work at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that was another thing too as well.
Yeah. One other thing was that on the State Board of Elections, it took the Secretary of State, who is an elected official who has duties and responsibilities spelled out in the Constitution, took that position off of the Board of Elections, the State Board of Elections, which means that the legislature could appoint people to serve in those positions who are in sync with what they're trying to do. So in effect, the state could come in and take over your local Board of Elections and discount votes. And they really could do what Trump wanted to have done. And that was to give him the race. And so, of course, they would give these elections to their buddies, the Republicans. This is dangerous. It is dangerous legislation, and we've got to gear up and be ready. One of the things is everybody who's eligible needs to be registered to vote.
And that's what we all need to make sure and also educating all voters, even the younger voters, to make sure they understand that as well. Are you, can I ask what county you live in?
I live in Bibb.
Bibb, okay. So, would you want to, volunteer some time here and there to kind of, help us, get through, make sure we have things in place? Because like I said, you definitely seem like you have a voice and that energy that we need to get things in place.
Yes, ma'am. I would really love that.
Okay, great. Can you text me your number? My number is 478 960 4950, and I'll reach out and I'll give you a call, and we'll go ahead and get everything. And I thank you so much for calling in and getting an understanding. But we can talk more in detail about it as well.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for your call.
Okay. And Ms. Lucas, I know you have been encouraging people to get the vaccine.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I got my second one. The senator and I went to the Board of Health, and we got our second vaccine, our second shot this morning. Awesome. And so far, all I've had is my arm's not even sore. It was sore the first shot that I got. And having hot flashes. I'm doing some real sweat. You know, I have to keep a fan handy, but that's all so far. I'm just crossing my fingers that everything's okay. But I am going to continue with my vitamin supplements, my elderberry, all of the zinc. I use airborne and B and C and D and the multivitamin, all of those. I've even got the senator. I make his little pile of gummies, and I put my little pile of
and
gummies.
Also certain foods that I know a nurse, they would tell their patients that, got over COVID to eat like pineapple because it's like acidic, avocados,
wow.
Yeah. So something's with a high pH level. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. That's great information for everybody. A lot of people are still afraid to take it, but I took my first one. Today makes a week, and I take my next one April 23rd.
Awesome. That's great. And what's your name again?
Yeah.
What's your name again?
Nita Huckabee.
Huckabee.
That's my sister.
Oh, okay. Listen, I don't ask for your number and everything, and Elaine had all the information right here.
You can barely pass it on to you.
I was enjoying her call so much. Oh, thank you so much for your call.
Okay, you ladies have a great day.
Thank you so much. You have a blessed day.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, y'all need to snuck that call in here. She does work with getting out the vote and voter registration and other kinds of things. Works the area on the west side where she lives, and so she'd be willing to do that. Definitely. She is very energetic, and we appreciate it. And any of you out there who feel the concern that we feel, please get involved, because the elections are next year. The election for governor, and we are so hopeful that Stacey will run. Well, Abrams, I sure do hope that she does. And so we've got to be ready.
Exactly. And I can tell you, too, even with volunteers, my son, who's been volunteering since he was 10, 11, and, he would go out and say, hey, I'm too young to vote, but I need you to vote. And he have registered, and he walked up to individuals that didn't know the voting laws that would say, hey, I can't vote, I'm a felon. He said, have you done your time? Have you paid your fine? Well, you can vote. And he was signing up people. So you don't have to, be just an adult. This is a great opportunity for young individuals to get involved as well. This counts as community service, as well. They can add on their resume. I'm pretty sure we can draft them a nice letter, to add to their portfolio. But you want to start now and go ahead and get involved, because right now they're not, teaching civics as they did in school when I was in school. They just teach history, and so this is again an opportunity to get that experience and learn as well the branches of government, what each elected official does, their roles and that type thing. Because a lot of them just think federal elections,
That's true.
And they don't understand, all what's the tax commission, what is this person does and that type thing. And also they're being familiar with the laws and different things. So if I always tell people, don't just take, someone's answer, like, hey, now you have Google, hey, show me the information to make sure. A
few of our comments. Dr. Mary Butler says, she says, that's my immune system kicking in with the heat, I think, with the flash. And she says Trump thought that he was going to play with the blacks in Georgia, but we always do what we have to do to get the job done. For so many years, we did not vote in elections. Our numbers were so low, and they were just so shocked this time that we realized, but it's still...
My daughter voted for the first time at 23 because she was afraid of getting, jury duty. I said, after a while, I just stopped going back and forth. But she said, I'm going to vote this. So it's like,
nothing that keeps anybody from jury duty anymore.
So, hey, I want to help get this done. Like, we're going to vote those individuals out. We've shown them already what we can do. So we just have to turn the heat up a little bit to the next level.
We really do. Dr. Butler says that we're right about the issues we've been talking about. We turn our heads and don't take the time to get involved. Shirley Lester says Delta Airlines sent a letter to its employees letting them know they did not agree with the decision made by the Republicans, and it was not with all voters' best interest.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad they finally did that, because that little old wimpy letter that they sent to begin with, they said stuff like, we agree that there's a need for some change, but we don't want anybody to get hurt.
Exactly.
What is that?
I mean, well, they were making it seem like, they were kind of like, they didn't get the whole gist of it. Yeah, they just pretty much got the surface. They got the broad spectrum of everything. And once it pretty much came out, because it's like, we were like, hey, I'm not flying Delta.
I'd already made my list.
I've cut out Cokes. I'll go to Lowe's if I need something. I mean, there's ways to, move around and spend your money as well.
Right. We're going to be keeping track of these companies and what they are saying, what their actions are, and we're going to call the roll. We will be calling out the names of companies that you need to, just like, there are a lot of folks who were involved in the older folks who were involved in the bus boycott. And we broke the segregation of the buses by refusing to ride the buses. And so just like that was done, other things can be done. Coca-Cola does not want you to stop drinking that stuff.
Yes.
Home Depot does not, I don't shop there anyway because they supported Trump, but maybe they're a little better now. But they don't want you to stop buying at that orange and what's it called? Orange, mainly orange.
Orange and white.
Delta doesn't want you to start flying American or United or whatever
Southwest,
and not going Delta. These folks make their money off of you.
Exactly.
Just like folks in this town who have businesses and they treat you wrong, they disrespect you, they overcharge you, charge you double the price.
Exactly.
And we know that in a lot of places there's not a convenient place to buy things, and a lot of people end up going to these stores that are closer to them.
Exactly.
But I'd be darned if I would go in somewhere and somebody disrespects me and I keep going in there.
Oh no, that's not,
They could keep that stuff.
Oh yeah,
I'd figure out a way. I'll leave it right there. Oh, you go talk to me that way? Here's your stuff.
I see we have a comment from Rhonda Bird.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Just tuning in. So the boycott is on for Friday. Maybe Rhonda can share some information. If there's I wasn't aware if there's one plan, but if so, definitely I want to get in on it. If you're able to call in, Rhonda, at 250-1444, and give us some information on that, so all of you, the listeners can listen to that as well. Or you can just, insert that and we'll just read it out. But yeah, definitely share that with us. And I think that's the thing too, making sure we all get, different.
Yeah, we need to get that information. We really do need to get that information. And we really thank all of the folks who are leaving messages. There's someone from Lancaster, South Carolina who says,
awesome. Wow.
Hello, that's great. That is great. And it's just great to hear from you. Rhonda,
Maria,
says,
Brian,
we need to get some more information.
Ms. Brian commented during this year when there are no elections, which is the time we need to educate people about voting and how to read a ballot and how to understand what's on the ballot, and that's why some people don't vote. And that's the issue there as well. A lot of people don't understand. They don't vote if they're not familiar. They'll just vote president. They don't vote the full ballot. And even with amendments, being familiar with that. So before you go in, having an understanding, just don't check, yes on something that is definitely going to have a negative impact on you as well.
I think my COVID is kicking in.
Oh yeah,
because it's hot in here. We're going to take this call. Good afternoon, Ask Elaine.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. This is Rhonda.
How are you, madam?
I'm great.
It's great to hear from you. Now tell us what you know.
Well, I just received a mass text day before yesterday. I want to say from I really don't know who sent it out, but I know one of the first lady at oh God, Latimer,
Okay.
Reverend Kelly wife sent it out, and the text was saying that we was gonna boycott Chick-fil-A, buy no gas, no airplane tickets. Home Depot was in there. I think those was the only businesses on Friday. We won't spend any money with those particular businesses, because of the voter suppression.
Right. And just that day, if people really do that, really take it seriously, it will send shockwaves. It will send a message, because people will see that bottom line, that register does not have as much money in it as they would normally have. That is the way that you get folks' attention.
And it's the first of the month too, Easter weekend.
Oh, listen,
exactly.
stimmies coming in, and
can someone forward that text to me? I definitely want to. Definitely get that, so we can, get in on it there as well. Just go ahead and go ahead and I just go ahead and put a little extra in my gas tank today, and
right, and that's what they would say. You just fill up on Thursday or whatever, but we're not spending any money to those businesses on Friday.
That sounds good.
Oh, okay. Pastor Lisa says those mass texts are going out. And Cynthia Searcy from Greater Little Rock Baptist Church, she always represents.
Hey, Cynthia.
Yeah.
And we do want people to call in and represent your church, represent your pastor, your first lady, all of those things. And this is the last day of Women's History Month. It doesn't have to be. You can still, spotlight women who are doing things. And of course, Black History Month in February, the shortest month. We certainly need to keep that going. And I am so pleased. Herbert Denard has posted a bunch of pictures of folks in our community who are just doing great things. Though some are deceased and just contributed an awful lot to the community.
And we do need to definitely gather that. Like with the nonprofit I work with, we can maybe go ahead and utilize that and definitely have a place to put all different information. If people have any issues, sometimes on a local level as well. Because even with this past election, the issues that we have, still want to go ahead and try to get those resolved as well. Because it's, turning away voters at the polling place. And this is, on a local level for the most part, and I just so happen to be there and, just say, no, this is your right to vote, and we just want to make sure you understand, like, hey, you're never to leave. If the machines are down, they have emergency ballots. And if there's any issue and you can't reach out to anyone, Elaine, like I said, she's pretty much, and we want to, give them, and I know they have like the state voter protection hotline, which is a good thing too.
But they can always call me and I will get
on
your
a local
information.
level, because, they're on the state, level, and we need, to get those things addressed. And also to people when they know that, hey, there's someone working to get it addressed, I'm gonna follow up with you. What's the outcome? I mean, in some situations we may need to, move to the next level and have investigated even further. That's the only way things are going to change.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Madam President.
But Commissioner, everybody is just not politically inclined.
Right.
And I just try to get to people by simplifying it, by telling them, if you know that they are fighting this hard for you not to vote, it has to be important.
That's right.
It has to be important.
And the thing is, and even, like I said, you don't have to, know everything, have a degree in politics. The biggest thing I think when we're out communicating and engaging with in a community, just hearing someone that's taking the time and just saying, hey, have a sample ballot, explaining it to them, educating them, because your knowledge is somebody's, you're teaching somebody that don't know anything. So you always have, you know, I mean, I'm not an expert, and you learn every day for the most part. But it's just like, you know, now with, you know, increasing voters, because a lot of people don't understand like the voting laws that they can vote, even if they're on probation. If it's a misdemeanor, you still can register to vote, because if they try to register and they don't qualify, then that's a felony in itself. And also making sure that those voter registrations are updated, you know, properly, you know, because we have some people that have some interesting names, and if it's misspelled, they're throwing them out. We just want to make sure things are legible, following up on those as well. If we get absentee ballots, following up to make sure those things are done. So, I mean, trust me, we need all, you know, every little bit, because
everybody on board.
Exactly. So I have you down too, Miss Rhonda.
Yeah, everybody, all of these churches and civic organizations have social action.
Yeah, and
committees.
I think too, we, you know, if we collaborate resources versus, you know, I mean,
everybody doesn't need to be doing the same
you
little
know,
thing.
five people don't need to go to the same neighborhood.
Right.
You know, we need to, you know, all the groups on a local level come together and come up with an overall strategy for our Macon Bibb County. Right. You know, and that way we can hit more people, you know.
That's right. But the main thing is we cannot let our guard down. Now is the time when those folks are plotting and scheming and passing laws and everything. And what we've got to do is not only fight them on the local level, but we've got to encourage our legislators, our Congress people to support the national legislation. Those things need to be passed. And our national leaders need to go ahead and get rid of that filibuster and go ahead and pass those laws. They'll never get them passed because, what's his name? Tommy Turtle, Mitch McConnell. Oh, Lord. He said when President Obama was in office that he was going to make him a one-term president. That didn't work. But he said he was going to hold up. He wasn't going to be able to get anything done. And he just about did it because he hated President Obama. And he wanted to show that a black person couldn't get anything done. And so we got to show him the Democrats up there don't need to be worrying about what the Republicans are doing, because Republicans are going to do what's in their best interest and whatever makes them the most money. That's what they're going to do. We have got to be about the people. Exactly. And so I'm going to be real ticked off if the Democrats don't get it in gear real soon.
We are. And the thing is, even with ID, because you have some individuals that don't drive, you know, they, you know, have direct deposit, you know, so we need get a voting ID that's free. So this is the time, you know, just look to make sure, hey, you know, make sure everything is updated, make sure your address is updated. So when you go to your polling place, there's no issues. It's just, you know, getting that, you know, in place. Right.
We have got to be ready because the enemy, these devils are very, very busy. They're very busy. If anybody says that you can't give water and a snack to somebody who's been waiting in the heat in a long line, that's evil.
And so even with absentee, I think out of 100% of our absentee voters here, now we had a 97% turnout rate. And so, you know, and we don't need that to decline because of, you know, this crazy law. So, you know, I mean, somebody say, hey, just give them water for a penny or something. I don't know, but it, you know.
Believe me, our folks have worked things out. You know, you don't bring folks from their native land and put them in slavery and then they break loose and they still survive. You know, and then make it to where the worry is that we excel once you take the shackles off, we excel. That is the worry. That is the worry that those folks are going to get past me if I take the shackles off. So people are going to try and keep you enslaved. They're going to try and keep you from getting an education. They're going to try to keep you from voting. They're going to try to keep you from owning a home, owning property, anything that they have. Where is it where they were talking about the wealth of families? Boston. Boston has a new black mayor, female mayor, Janie. Her last name is anyway, in Boston, Massachusetts, the median wealth of white families is $250,000. Wow. The wealth of black families is $8. That is after you take care of everything you got to take care of out of what you got. $8 compared to $250,000. We got to make a change there, y'all. That's ridiculous. That's not because somebody is lazy, somebody doesn't want to work. We have got to make sure that our educational level, that we take advantage of it, of any educational opportunities, and we've got to make sure that we take advantage of our right to vote. Exactly. And do it.
And just like, I said, we had a comment, now when you got to vote, hey, just bring your lawn chair, pack a lunch, and bring some water with you, with your ID. That's it. Just, we're going to have a checklist of those things.
Right. Yeah, whatever it takes.
Exactly.
Now, and it's bad that we have to go to this extreme, but we do what we have to do.
It is.
I'm not going to hold y'all line up. I know somebody else may be trying to get in, but I appreciate you guys, and you're always very informative and keeping us up to date as to what we need to do and what we don't need to do. And I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and we appreciate the listeners and the comments.
Yes, y'all continue to be blessed and keep the information coming.
All right.
And thanks for sharing that boycott. I'm definitely joining the game. Bye-bye.
All right. What were the other comments? Dr. Butler, as always, she says we need education in investing.
That's what, and
we really do.
And I think especially now, I have, a business degree and a master's from Westland in business. So, and until then, I wasn't, because I don't know if anybody read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but it's basically how the white families, how they teach their kids growing up on the things to focus on versus the black. So I have my son reading it. I think every young individual should read that book. Because, you can start out, with $20 investing, and just with understanding the concept,
right. Well, Bishop Scott does some segments on money. I've forgotten what days it is, but he does Monday, I believe it is Money Monday.
Okay.
But he does some segments, some very good information on quick ways to save. And there's a little formula that he has. That was one that I noticed. And if you save, you say, I just can't save. I just can't save. The little pattern that I saw that he had you starting out this week, you put aside $1. Then week number 2, $2. And week number 3, $3. And this is somebody who's a low wage earner. And if you make more, put more aside, and by the end of the year you will have, I believe it was a couple of $1,000.
Yeah, and I think one thing too is outline all your expenses. Sometimes we have subscriptions and different things that we really that $12 for Netflix can go in your savings account. That extra data plan. So just reviewing your bills and saying, okay, all these additional charges, like do you what do you really need?
Right.
And just being conscious of that.
Yeah, and with the stimulus, and when you get your income tax, pay off as much of your debt as you possibly can, and that will open up even more buying power for you so that you can get some other things. The secret is to have a good credit record, to pay your bills, pay when you promise you're going to pay on time, and the quicker, the more you pay each payment, the larger the payments, the quicker you will be able to pay off whatever it is, and then you're gradually and building up your credit. But the folks who get a lump of money and then they go and it's all spent, pay off everything that you can with it, which will open up more buying power for you. And, you know, do a little savings too. And I know some folks out there say, oh, how they going to tell us what to do with our money? We can't tell you what to do with your money. We're just making some suggestions so that it will last longer. We know that there are some people who had to take that money and get caught up.
And I think Bishop Scott said that's Monday at 1:15.
Oh, okay,
and definitely too, I'll definitely be tuning in as well. And you know, all the different tips that we do, you know, because everything works different for different people. I know the first of every year, you definitely get a copy of your credit report. You get a copy for free, because now, you know, they used to have 7 year where they would delete things, but now they don't do it automatically. So you have to basically review any errors on your report, and that type thing. So, yeah.
Well, I check my credit report very regularly.
Oh, yeah.
And
I have
if anything is out of whack, then I deal with it right then, because folks do make mistakes. People do go into and steal identities and rack up bills and stuff. And there was something that I want to remind people that we've reminded them of before. Please don't mess up your child's social security number by using that child's social security number and getting all of this stuff on it. They will just be upset later on because they won't have any kind of credit rating because you will have messed up their credit early. Please don't do that. Good afternoon, Ask Elaine.
Oh, Commissioner, I just have to call you and
Kimberly.
Women's History Month, since this is the last day.
Yes, how are you?
To thank you for all that you have been doing for my hometown in your public service.
Yeah, and we have Monica on as our co-host.
Oh, hello. And because you're the winningest Black woman in Georgia.
Well, you are definitely, you know, hey, it takes a village, and you have done a lot as well. But yeah, like I said, Commissioner, I mean, you know, the center named after her, she definitely has left a legacy for generations to come. So, yeah.
She is the winningest Black woman in the state of Georgia.
Am I blushing? I'm already hot. I told y'all I'm already hot. Yeah, am I blushing? Am I blushing?
I have looked high and far across these 159 counties in Georgia and these 619 cities. And I have yet to find a Black woman who has won as many elections as Commissioner Elaine Lucas. And that is just the true fact of the matter. And that even includes some folks who had been up in the state General Assembly too, because we were recognizing Georgiana Sinkfield as well. And I was like, she's another AME sister too now.
Yeah.
But I was like, but let me count these little elections up.
Yeah, we worked in her campaign for Secretary of State some years ago.
Yes. And Dr. D. Dawkins Hakewood was like, she said, I do think that Elaine is the reigning champ of being the winningest Black woman electorally in the state of Georgia.
Oh, wow.
So we are, just calling to say happy Women's History Month. I am going to call you offline later.
Okay.
Because, I have seen some pictures of my good friend John Ossoff traveling about in the community.
Yes, you have.
But I mean...
and guess what?
I'm just wondering who got the memo.
Guess what? I didn't get the memo. I got the memo every time there was a campaign function. But when the senator came back the other day, I didn't get the memo. Well, I saw it on the news, in the news media, but I did not get one of those memos saying the senator that you worked with, is going to be in town and meet us. Such and such.
I need to definitely have some other conversations about that, because I knew that they were on Easter break and would be coming into the community, but I didn't know, exactly how that was going to go down. And so the other reason why I was asking is because, our good friend Jordan Johnson, who's a commissioner down in Augusta Richmond County, which is also consolidated in our homeboy Hardy Davis, right from over there in Bellevue, honey, is the mayor. But they received $112 million for their county school system and $84 million for their city from the American Rescue Plan. This is what John had shared. But I have yet to hear, after he walked around with y'all's mayor over here at the Macon Farmers Market COVID testing site. Monica doesn't know about my call in. I'm sorry, Monica.
Oh no, you're fine. Listen, hey,
my call in.
Hey, we're set for the rest of the show.
I always shady.
No, you're fine. Well, you just come on in and join us on the show one day.
So y'all's mayor was walking around over there with another commissioner and some other folks. I didn't see any. I only saw pilgrims, and he went to Heritage Elementary School. John Oakstock went to Heritage Elementary School, and we did get $106 million for our BIB schools. But I have yet to hear how much money is going to the city of Macon, not the consolidated county of Macon, but the funds that are actually going to the city.
Well, your buddy, Senator Lucas,
who are suffering from.
Yes, your buddy, Senator Lucas, says that Macon and Bibb will get $77 million.
And Ms. Butler mentioned Kimbo is on the case. Kimbo is on the case. Is that
who?
I'm the president of Dr. Butler's fan club.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Is that you, Kim? Kimbo, you're Kimbo.
I heard Kimbo. No, but I just have to check, honey, to make sure that my people, my hometown, is getting its coins. That's
Oh yeah.
Because I had not heard what our amount was, and specifically for the city where the majority of Black people live, who have really suffered and who are under crushing financial disabilities because of this COVID crisis. And as Black women, let's stand with our sisters. 150,000 Black women lost a job this month. So these are concerning things as we look at the impact that the coronavirus has had on our community.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to both of you.
Did you get both your shots? You get both vaccines?
Yes, honey.
All right, then.
I got the shot that the Black woman made. I got the Moderna.
Oh, that's the one I got. I got two of them.
Ma'am.
That's why I'm running hot up in here. I reached the conclusion that's one of my symptoms.
It is very powerful. I'm going to hang up because I'm headed to Sinai Die, and I've been watching all day.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to thank both of you.
Thank you. And Kim, I'll reach out with you later, too. Yeah, I'll reach out with you later as well.
Of corporate accountability.
Okay.
And what people have to understand is that just because we're not just talking about boycotts, we're talking about boycotts. Black people can buy something else.
That's right. That's right.
Coca-Cola. We can go spend our money somewhere
exactly.
else. I don't have to just fly Delta, even though that's my favorite airline. I can go fly United or something else. So I thank you both for lifting up corporate accountability, because we know that Black people, we have $109 billion of consumer spending that goes on in this nation every year. And so corporations should be accountable to our people. Thank you both. Happy Women's History Month.
Thank you so much. Tell the senator we said hello.
Thanks, Kim.
Honey, that's my senator.
All right, then. All right, then.
Will tell my favorite senator hello. All right,
bye, Kim. All right. That is now, see, she brings it every time she calls, and we appreciate that information. Our time goes by so fast. If you'd like to get in on this discussion with Monica Hodges and your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, this is Ask Elaine, and we're here every Wednesday from 3 until 4. I am just so happy that there's some wonderful people, so that there'll be some times that I'll skip out. I might not not be in place. And see, we will be in good hands, because some of these sisters are rougher than I am now. So y'all think you like what I have to say. These sisters are on the case too. And then all of our listeners. Thank you, Pastor Lisa. She talks about Black buying power.
Exactly.
And Dr. Butler. Thank you, Kimberlyn, for all that you do. And y'all, thank you so much for tuning in, Facebook Live, and also on the radio. And please pass the word. I ran into a firefighter last week.
Wow.
And he said, when are you coming back on the air? I said, we've been back on the air almost a year. I said, we're on 980 WDDO. And so I hope he's out there listening today.
You need to get some cards made.
That's what I got to do. The apostle and the bishop have some really nice cards that they've been handing out, and more people know about the station, but I am going to get some cards and hand those out. But the Georgia Informer has our ad in there. I guess I need to change it up, make it look a little different so people will pay attention to it. But we are here every week, every Wednesday from 3 until 4. We want to say hello to the apostle's mom that we understand is listening in and enjoys the topics that we discuss. But I was so mad, y'all, when I looked on TV and the governor's office, our building, and he's in there with the doors locked, with obviously State Patrol folks outside to intercept anybody.
But three individuals on the side. There's no diversity in there whatsoever.
No, it was him and 6 other white men. And they were in there sneaking and signing those discriminatory bills, and then had the nerve to lock that lady up. This was an elected official.
Exactly.
They would not have done it to some other folks. They would not have done it. They would not have done it. I bet you they didn't lock up all of those insurrectionists at the Capitol, and they were trying to hang Mike
looting.
Pence. They were looting, going in folks' private stuff, stealing stuff, and they still haven't caught all of them. Oh, goodness.
And Ms. Butler, and thank you so much for tuning in. I enjoyed your guest today, Monica.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Our time is up, y'all. I'm sorry. Tune in again next week.
Well, I hope everyone have a blessed, weekend.
And thank you so much,
I know they have
Monica.
a drive-in service at Henderson, and but yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, a lot of churches are having the drive-in Easter services. So y'all go and put that faith to work. Don't just go to the meeting and then go home and say you let somebody else do it. Do something that makes this world a better place. Your works can speak for you. And we're going to make sure that our works speak for us until we're no longer able to do it. Thank you so much. Get your shots, register to vote. If you're not registered, call us if you need any information, and continue listening to this wonderful station, The Glory. See you again next Wednesday.
Thank you. Bye-bye.